We're back with Dr. Dave Williams, CEO for Southlake. And Dave, before the break, we started to talk about recognition. And I was very rude and interrupted you, so I apologize for that. But I want to talk about the recognition program that you have currently in Southlake. Tell us a little bit about it.
So we were mentioning the Shockingly Excellent Innovative Awards that we have, and essentially that's filled out by anyone, on anyone, at any point in time, and we give out hundreds every year, and it's just so exciting. To give you an idea of how powerful these are, I've been in space, I've done a lot of things in my career. You can imagine there's all sorts of stuff on the walls of my office, one of which is a shockingly excellent form that I got from a team member at Southlake in November. And I was so thrilled with it. It's framed and it's up on the wall of my office. And that's very characteristic of the response we get from team members who receive these. You know, in addition to those, which are very timely and give that immediacy of feedback, we also have a whole series of annual leadership awards. And the most exciting part of the year is in June, when we have our evening. We bring everyone together and we give out these awards, and you see the pride on their faces. It's truly incredible. But we talk about two things as well that I think are an important part of team member recognition. The first is simply saying thank you. I mean, we work in healthcare, right? This is an area where it's fraught with challenges and resource constraints, and there's a lot of emotional pressure in it. How hard is it to say thank you? So I try and say thanks all the time in the organization, because the team members that we see are doing an incredible job for their patients and their family 24/7, 365 days a year. It could be a special family holiday and the team members in working at Southlake and things, that relentless commitment. So we say thanks a lot.
Well, and the other thing is that you, as a business, and I use the term loosely, but oftentimes see people at their worst. Certainly, you know, a birth of a new child is at their best, but many other reasons why they're there. So their patient or their customer is under incredible stress and strain, which has got to transfer onto them. So, you know, kudos to them for the great work they do.
The other thing we talk about a lot is creating positive energy in the organization, which is a really interesting concept. Leslie Thompson, is the CEO of Kingston General, talks about organizational energy as well. And what we mean is positive emotional energy. When I come into work every day, am I in a good mood? Is it infectious? Am I optimistic, gregarious, and all those emotional attributes that people say, wow, it's great, you know, I was at a meeting with Dave and it was a lot of fun? Or do I come in, I'm a little dysthymic, a little sad, always negative in things? And this is, again, a lesson from the space program. If you're going to be on the space station with someone for 6 months, do you want to be there with somebody who's always in a great mood and really optimistic and things? So we talk about how do you create positive emotional energy in yourself and in others and bring that into the team environment. And we've got some phenomenal team members at Southlake who really are beacons of positive emotional energy in the organization.
Well, and that raises two elements. One is, you know, the concept of character, you know, hiring people with the right character. But the thing that I find interesting is that when you come into work every day, and I know you come in from Oakville, and I suspect the traffic is not ideal each and every one of those days, you have a choice. As a leader, as an individual, you have a choice about the attitude you're going to carry in today, because you might have just been in horrible traffic, you might be stressed, late for a meeting, but you still have that choice. And I think great leaders make that choice every time they come in to have that positive energy, because you know, you can fake it till you make it, so to speak. I mean, I'm a big believer in genuine, authentic leadership, but the reality is you still have that choice.
I think a lot of this is great leaders have a strong sense of self-awareness. And that sense of self-awareness enables you to say, how am I doing today? You know, am I just kind of neutral, or is today a really great day, or is today a not so good day? And what I think is really interesting is if it's a not so good day and you take a couple of deep breaths and you go in, you try hard, and you smile and you say hello to someone in the elevator, you know what? They say hi back.
And you feel better.
And you feel better, and they feel better. And you know, it's one of these positive accelerators where you're accelerating that positive emotional energy. As a leader, are we courageous enough to ask the question, do I have a negative impact on the organization? You know, and it takes a lot of courage to ask that. When I was working as an emergency physician, I'd often wonder, gee, do the nurses enjoy working with me? Do they simply not care? Or are they booking off sick when they know that Williams is on a night shift or something, right? And we all like to think that team members want to work with us, but it's important, I think, to create that emotional energy in the group working together well, and that's where things really start humming and we are all working to the best of our ability.
Yeah, and I think that that starts with the leadership by the example that they demonstrate, because other people will model those behaviors. So if you're, even on a bad day, you know, start with, I'm going to be positive, you bring that positivity out of other people, and it contributes. I want to go back to something you talked about in the area of the recognition, because I think this is a hugely important point. All too often, organizations think recognition has some sort of a financial element to it. You know, someone does something well, I've got to give them a $5 gift card. I suspect in your industry, as in the government, when I've worked with them, there's not a lot of $5 gift cards going. It's not about financial, it's about recognition. I love the certificates. Tell me more about how those things are, how that thank you element is driven on a daily basis with no cost involvement within the organization.
You know, I think a lot of the recognition is values-based, and what it reaffirms an individual's commitment to shocking excellence. So when you get a shockingly excellent recognition form, everyone feels proud. And they feel proud because they feel a part of this amazing team that's delivering such a high standard of healthcare in the organization. So it's about creating an award that has a sense of immediacy, but also having awards that are only available to a small portion of the workforce. So for instance, at NASA, we have a Silver Snoopy Award. It's only given out to less than 1% of the workforce. At Southlake, we have leadership awards and performance excellence awards that similarly are only given out to a small portion of the workforce. So they're very sought after. And it's a true recognition of everyone's commitment to the organization and that sense of pride when a team member wins it and things. So we have a whole range of performance awards.
Right.
And what's really interesting is they focus on recognizing contributions to the organization. We don't have a financial component associated with shocking excellence or anything like that. It's simply people are very proud and often value the award even more than if there was a $5 coupon for a coffee associated with it.
Well, and that's one of the things that, you know, when I speak to my clients, they need to get that non-financial based recognition built into their culture. And I say built because it is intentional. One of the things that I've done in the past is to take the values and make sure that not only is the recognition timely, that timeliness of a thank you is important, but to me it's also got to be relevant and specific. It's got to be thank you for doing something specific, because if it's just a, you know, attaboy or attagirl, it's like, you know, what does that really mean? And the other thing that I like to see is it tied specifically to the values. So when you say, you know, when you did this, it really demonstrated the value of giving a damn. And here's the outcome that came from the, you know, to the patient or to your coworker. And I think that is so critical, to constantly taking it back to the values. Your thoughts on that?
So our shockingly excellent form actually has the 4 values on it, and you tick off which one corresponds
I was kind of wondering if we were going to
go.
get there, because it just sounded so right with what you were doing. But
yeah, it does. So we use that a lot, and then there's other tools that we use in the organization to build pride in the organization. So for instance, in the space program, working as the Director of Life Sciences at NASA, the majority of the time I'd be wearing logo attire. At Southlake, we're actually implementing logo attire, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's great to be proud of working in the organization. We produce in-house motivational videos that people watch and that makes them feel good about working at Southlake, because it, again, aligns our values and shows us the difference that we're making. And it comes back to that Dan Pink model, you know, and drive, autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And rewarding people for mastering complex tasks. We call ourselves a world-class hospital. Many hospitals love to say, you know what, we're world-class.
Sure, of course.
To us, world-class means that you've done something that no one else in the world has done, or you were the first person to do that. And we've done that at Southlake. In our cardiac electrophysiology program, we have many world's firsts that have been done. And that's why we use the phrase world-class healthcare. So I think it's something that, again, we try and celebrate all those different achievements that we have in the organization.
And it's such a powerful tool that you know, has very little cost associated with it. I mean, it's pieces of paper. I mean, like, how difficult can that be? But yet you yourself said that's one of the things that's framed in your office. I know that the CEO of Service Ontario, as you look at in his office along the wall, he's got all of the cards that people within his organization have sent. And when you provide that to somebody, I mean, that's got to mean an enormous amount. You'll see them pinned up on their cubbies or on their walls or in their break rooms, etc. It's a powerful tool that too many leaders don't take full advantage of.
Yeah, the cards, it's so easy to do. You know, usually when I was in NASA, I would send out 250 to 500 cards a year, birthday cards, wow cards, congratulations cards, great job, thank you cards, and all of that. And we're doing the same thing at Southlake. We've got cards, and I send those out to team members and volunteers in the organization. We use the immediacy of the event to try and acknowledge people. And then there's other tools that we can use as well, you know, social media tools to acknowledge people's contribution. And then I mentioned the in-house videos. We're expanding that to be able to incorporate our team in there and recognizing various team events, team achievements through use of videos.
So tell us a little bit more about that, because social media is becoming a huge part of every organization, both good and bad. Now, are you finding ways to use social media to build tighter teams in the organization?
Yeah, we are, and we have a LinkedIn presence. So, you know, Southlake is out there. We have a number of Southlake team members that are on LinkedIn. So that would be a professional association where you can create a group that's similar to having an intranet blog or portal. So you can password protect it and restrict it only to Southlake team members. So there's that element. And then there's the external element as well, where through LinkedIn you can reach out to the rest of the world. So that's our professional networking model. But in addition to that, we use Twitter quite a bit to be able to send out tweets all the time. And we get people in the community tweeting back or retweeting what we get out. And those are quick and easy ways to get messages out, not only to the community at large and our catchment area, but to our other team members.
Right.
We need to reach 4,000 people. Some folks, they work night shifts, and the hospital's a totally different world at night.
Sure.
How do they find out what's going on and things? So we're really exploring all of these. We're about to start releasing iTunes podcasts. So some of our in-house videos that we produce on high reliability organizations, safety, quality, excellence, leadership, followership, these will be available to download. Anybody who wants to download them can download that content and learn about what we're doing at Southlake.
Now, what about the videos that you're using internally with teams? Are you doing some with teams where teams are starting to do their own videos, or are those the videos that you're referring to?
So right now, the majority of the videos that we're doing are our senior leadership team reinforcing various messages. So I've done a number of videos on leadership, followership, high reliability organizations, the Southlake culture, and we're expanding that. So we're going through communications training for other senior team members as well. But the goal is to broaden this. So in fact, the video as a tool could be used by frontline team members to, if there's a situation where that can help them with what they want to deliver. Imagine the concept when we admit a patient to the hospital that there's an admission video that they watch.
Yeah.
And they just, here, watch this, and we talk about hand hygiene and safety and quality and some of these other things.
Or
the
even send it
that's
out
so
in
critical.
advance, or people will be able to go online to the Southlake site and be able to download those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But you haven't got into the crazy videos yet.
Not so much, although we have a Dare to be Bear video coming out in the next...
Which?
Dare to be Bear.
Dare to be Bear.
Yes,
okay.
and I'm sure you're curious what
Yes.
this is all about.
And you know what? I got to hold that thought, and we'll speak about the Dare to be Bear video when we come back after this break.